Hello everyone, I am back and today we are building an allotment. Now an allotment is basically a place where you can have your own mini garden and you can grow vegetables or you can do whatever you want with it really. Within reason obviously. But yeah, it's like a big area where everyone has their own little area within that where they can have their own little patch of, like I say, vegetables. You might have a little shed to keep some tools in. You might bring like some chairs with you, so you can have a sit down while you're there. And you might just go there on a Sunday afternoon, just sit, watch the world go by, have a cup of tea. I've never been to one myself, but I really, really see the appeal. I feel like it's something that would be so relaxing to do. And also very good if, for example, you don't have a very big garden. It's nice to have somewhere separate to go, outdoor space that's also kind of yours, and you can do what you want with it. So yeah, I thought it was quite nice, and especially within a city. So like I say, you might not have a very big garden if you live in the city, and even though it's probably something that you'd feel like would be in the countryside because of this big grassy area, they work quite well in cities. I live in the city and I find that there's quite a few near me, and one in particular that is very close to me. It's very big and it kind of just comes out of the blue. You feel like, oh, where's that come from? But I don't know, it kind of works. And I would say that this allotment is more of a community garden because it is very put together, very neat, mainly because I wanted it to obviously be functional for The Sims, right? So, all the planters and things are very uniform, and I feel like maybe some allotments, they can be a bit more higgledy-piggledy. So for example, when I see the one near me, I always feel like, oh my goodness, I do not know. I can't tell myself where one plot might start and the next would end. But that's just, I don't know, it's kind of the beauty of it. Whereas this is a lot more put together and neat, like I say. So yeah, it kind of gives that kind of community garden vibe as well, a bit more of a community space rather than just literally a field or a big area of grass that is an allotments. And so yeah, so I have made this a community space lot type, and what I've done is actually this lot has got everything it needs to be any of the sub venues, if that makes sense. So obviously in Eco Lifestyle we got that new lot type of community space which you can change within the game. So if you want it to be a community garden or a maker space or a market space. But I always felt like it was a bit strange how the whole building would change, because obviously a building wouldn't just change week on week, if you know what I mean. So yeah, what I've done is I've made something which it can be set as any of the types. And so you can just have this for all of them, if that makes sense. So you can just, if you want it to be market day, say for example, you can set it as the marketplace, and then it can be market day or whatever. Or for whatever reason, if you want it to be a makerspace. But yeah, this can just be, you can do everything here that those sub-venues are set up to do, if that makes sense. And it's just I don't know, it's a nice space to play, to be honest, with The Sims, because I do also put as well as obviously all the maker stuff and the market stuff and community garden, there is a playground for the children to play at, and also a little cafe area, which I thought was really nice. You'd come, have a drink and things. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little idea. So that's what we're going to do. As you can see, I've just marked out with floor tiles, if that makes sense, where roughly each area is going to be. It doesn't turn out exactly as I've marked out because I kind of do it as I go along. But you can see, for example, I've started this area here, and they've always got all these different patches, and then they've got some planters as well. So then they sort of will choose what they want to put in there. And they've also got they've got quite a big greenhouse here. I had a lot of fun actually using the new greenhouse pack, because you can really make some cute greenhouses. Because with obviously you can have full windows, and there's the roof is all window and it all matches in, and then those gabled end pieces, I want to call it, kind of venti looking pieces, just make it so there's no wall like visible wall, so it really looks like it's not just a building in The Sims, if you know what I mean, like that you've made to look like a greenhouse, like it like literally is a greenhouse. Oh, that's quite fun. And I like as well like how they have the windows, some of them can be open and some of them closed. Yeah, really neat idea. So I tried to make each of the little areas a little bit different, because like I say, like different people would own them, and so they might do slightly different things with them. So for example, this one's obviously got a big greenhouse they put up, and they've got like a little seating areas, these sort of like prop-up chairs, and a cooler box where I feel like, you know, if they spend the day there doing their gardening, then they can have a drink and things with them. Obviously lots of soil, and obviously I do use the new pack a lot, like some little details like the watering cans and things. It's like perfect for this kind of build. But yeah, and I also really love that new tile that we got with that new pack, which is kind of like, it's like brick, isn't it? It's like brick, and then it's got like sort of like weeds poking through, which I thought was a really nice idea actually. A little bit of detail that is appreciated. But yeah, so obviously this is quite a different build because it is just mainly outside. So there's a lot of landscaping. I mean, to be fair, it's not like crazy amounts of landscaping because it's, like I say, it's very neat, it's very put together. But there is also a lot of training. So in true Isambardy style, I just have a lot of fun with training in this. Not like crazy. So like terrain painting, I mean, not like crazy, but yeah, I just love trying to make it look like just like very natural looking, and not just like, oh, here is some soil now, here is some stone now, just trying to make it blend so it's like, yeah, a little bit seamless. So yeah, I do have a little bit of fun with that. I find it very therapeutic doing that. I don't know about anyone else, but I find it very therapeutic. Terrain painting, it's like really enjoyable. Even though I changed my mind a few times on some of them and I end up like rubbing it out and then changing it, and then yeah, but I still enjoy it. And yeah, so then this little area, I actually, whoever owns this area, I felt like would make like a nice little private sitting area. So you can see where I put those like decorative planters, with the plants going up the wall, or up the like, I don't know what to call it, like it's just like the kind of wood, you know what I mean, the like wood decorative piece that you can see now in the screen. I really wanted to use that to make a kind of sitting area. So this sort of like closed off space with privacy. So yes, that's what I did. So I'm just blending in, like I said, love it, blending in the terrain paint there. And then yeah, I close it off and have this little seating area. I nearly put a little pond because I thought, oh, running water would be really nice here, like really nice to listen to. But I end up just putting that little fountain, which is perfect as well, really nice. I imagine that makes such a lovely noise. And I do actually end up putting a little pond elsewhere, because that's the other thing. There would be, you could also have like, I have seen people with like chickens, like, and things like that in allotments. So yeah, I also put a little chicken coop. So yeah, like there's like a few things going on. So I thought a little pond would be nice as well to have in one area, just so it feels really nice and natural, and all sorts of like wildlife, and just, yeah, just like really, just being really nice and natural really. What would be perfect for this build would be like compost bins. I was like, when I was doing it, I was like, that's what we really need, because there would be like compost bins everywhere, I feel like. I do put a couple of the big bins, so just like the normal like wheelie bins, and in my mind I'm like, that's like green waste bin. So that, or could be a compost bin. Obviously it's not, it's just like a bin, but like in my mind I'm like, that made me feel better because I know that would be a thing. But yeah, that would be really, really good for this, I think. And I just like putting lots of little detail everywhere, which I do throughout the build. So you might see me jumping around a little bit from time to time. When I see something, I pull it out, put it down, because I don't want to like not be able to find it again. But yeah, like putting like the like soil bags out, little buckets here and there, piles of dirt from where they might be like digging and like planting something. So yeah. And then we're on to the other side now, and this is where, like I said, there is a chicken coop, which I thought was a nice, sweet little idea. Again, just like mixing it up so all the spaces are different. And it'd be nice to have some little chicken running around, obviously in a little fenced area, because I don't want them to go too far. But yeah. And I feel like, I'm feeling like we've really settled into a nice little rhythm with YouTube, guys. I'm feeling like for the past couple of weeks, we've been posting every Thursday and Sunday, and I feel like that's really working, like sort of like time wise. So yeah, that's how I feel like the schedule is going. So if I feel like if I say it, make it official, then I definitely have to stick to it, right? That it's going to be Thursdays and Sundays is when I'm going to upload. But yeah, I think that's working. But yeah, so that's quite exciting. Very exciting indeed. And you'll see as well, I tried to mix up the planters I use as well. So there I'm using, I think they're from City Living. They're like brightly painted because, like I said, I feel like people, they just do what they want with their space. So yeah, it's like trying to make sure they all just look slightly different, because of course it is all the same kind of thing. It is just like loads and loads of plants. It's all like loads of they're like patches, the like soil patches from the cottage living pack. It's just lots of that. So I'm trying to make it like a bit varied at the same time, just so it's not like fully uniform, if you know what I mean. And obviously this little space has a little shed just to keep things in. I felt like it's nothing like crazy functional in there. Put a bin in there, like I said, that in my mind is like a compost bin. But yeah, and then I also put I don't know if you noticed, one of those like water collectors, which also made me feel like, obviously it's not a compost bin, but it's that kind of very eco green thing. So obviously this would be a very green area, as in not like literally, I mean literally it is very green, but I mean like green in the sense of like good for the environment as well. It'd be they're very conscious of that. So yeah, I feel like they would do things like collecting water and then using water rather than, you know, like for example having like loads of sprinklers. I didn't put any sprinklers down because I felt like that's quite a lot of water, although it might be useful. But I like the idea that you have to go and water your plants. You can't forget about them, because that's what you do in real life, right? So yeah. And then I do start as well, because I don't know why I didn't do it from the start, but I was like, oh, I need to climb some like, you know, greenery up the fence to make it look a bit more real, or realistic. I thought it was always fun. So yeah, so I started doing that for a little bit, and then move over here this is where I build a little pond, and I sort of like play around with it a little bit, the shape, because I don't know why, like I've said, I know I've said it before, the pond I feel like is very temperamental. Like all of a sudden the water like overspills or like, yeah, so it's a bit smaller than I've liked, because I really wanted to have a little ducks land there, but if I put the duck thing down it was too high, and I didn't want the ducks to be like floating, I don't know. So in the end, yeah, it's a nice little small pond. It's got some tadpoles in it. I think there's some tadpoles in there. I thought that was quite sweet. And then yeah, they also have like a little greenhouse, but this one I make like with a round roof, which I think is quite fun, because I find like actually a lot of greenhouses actually have that round roof as well. They can have that. Obviously you don't get like a piece to fit there, because obviously the pack came with like a triangular piece for the greenhouse, but I just use like a wallpaper with the same kind of effect. I think that works really nice as well with a round roof. It's quite sweet. And I also really love, this pack was actually really good like for things that actually you don't just have to use in a greenhouse. So those windows and doors, like I used them in my previous build even, but the windows and doors I think are quite versatile and quite nice, like styled. And then there's that like fan that like, and it shows on both sides of the wall, which is just amazing, right? 'Cause at the moment all the sort of like fans we have just are like on one side of the wall, whereas that like goes through, almost like an aircon unit. I don't know, like, so yeah, I thought that was really cool as well. Yeah, lots of little bits and pieces. Got a nice shelving as well, yeah. Who knew? And you'll see I put a barbecue down, and I actually Googled, because I wanted to put a barbecue down, and then I Googled, like, would there be a barbecue? Would you be allowed to have a barbecue in Allotments? Because I was thinking, like, maybe, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a fire risk. But I Googled it, and apparently, like, you can if you want, as long as it doesn't obviously, like, affect someone else's, like, little area. So yeah, so I left it in with a little seating table, because I felt like they would come and they might spend the day there, like I say, and they can cook food and whatnot. And then, yeah, sit there and enjoy everything go by. So yeah. And you'll see I pulled out this item from Cottage Living, which is like the garden shop, which I really wanted to use, because I really like the idea of you being able to come here and buying seeds, because I feel like that makes a lot of sense. considering it's literally a garden. But when I was playtesting it, it just wouldn't work. Like, it was really, really annoying. Basically, it just would never open. The vendor would never ever come. And I know that normally if you put like any type of these, like, I don't know what you call them, but like, you know, like you can get the drinks ones where they sell food and drinks, and you have to hire the vendor when you go to the lot to make it work. You have to pay like $100 or simoleons for the for the sim to come to like work there, but like it wouldn't even give me the option to do that. So yeah, I was like looking online, and apparently like it is a bug. I felt like some people were able to get around it, but I mean, it just really, really wouldn't work. So I do end up actually taking it out. I tried using like I say, like a food one, because I did want a kind of thing like that, you know, like a sort of vending station, I'm gonna call it. I don't know what to call it on this lot, but yeah, none of them would work. And I don't know if it's the lot type, I don't know what it was, but it really, really wouldn't work, whatever I tried. So I have just like removed that completely. And I actually end up just putting like a table tennis where it is outside. Just I felt like it was somewhere nice for like the Sims to be able to hang out and while they're here, because I feel like it's a bit of a family day out, you know. And there is, like I said, that main building, as well as being a makerspace, it's got like a cafe bar thing, so you can still buy drinks and food and whatnot here, so that's fine. It's just, yeah, I would have liked the garden shop. I was a bit disappointed in that, but there we are. And then this is the children's play area that we're working on. Already done most of it, to be honest. And you'll see I built a little tree house. I did want to put the tree house that came with Growing Together, but just a bit big. But that would have been enjoyable because then it's got a slide and everything. So I ended up just making like a little small one for the children, and they can go up there and just like read some books. There's some cushions. I just thought that was quite sweet. Maybe go up there, read some books while their parents are gardening. I don't know, that kind of vibe. And I also put a little water splasher as well, which I like to think is also water that they collect and use. They don't use lots of water because, like I say, I feel like it'd be quite a green space. Do you know what I didn't do, which I'm a bit annoyed at, that I really, really should have done, is I should have put some solar panels on the cafe, because they would definitely have solar panels. So yeah, so if you download this, please put some on, because I feel like that's exactly what they would have here. But I forgot. That's annoying. But yeah, so here I am actually doing the little reading nook. So yeah, so we're up in the little tree house. You can see it's like teeny, teeny, tiny. But yeah, children can come up here, read a story, just have some quiet time. Yeah, so that's quite a nice, sweet little idea. So yeah, so you'll see me now making the inside of this like cafe / makerspace / basically I just felt like it was this old building that was here that the community have renovated into this space as part of this whole sort of like community garden vibe. So yeah, that's what I felt like the building would have just been, I don't know, unused, and they've just like made this whole space this sort of like inner city community garden. I realise I haven't even said what world we're building in, but you probably can tell because I've been banging on about the eco lifestyle pack, the type of lot type it is, that we are in Evergreen Harbour, and we're by the train station. I can't remember what that lot's called, but I'll put it in the description. But it's by the train station. I think that's a really cool backdrop to this, because obviously it's so like different, you know, like a big garden right next to train station. But it is obviously also like this is where the community lot was, or the community space was anyway originally, and I think it's a really good size, to be honest, so that's why we're building here. And you'll see in this space that I've left like the door open still for that garden shop. Obviously it's in the whole, it remains throughout this video that is there. Obviously, like I said, it has been removed, so the maker space as well in here does change, because obviously I take the garden shop away and then it means I have a whole wall. So yeah, the layout in here is slightly different in the end, but you'll see that in the screenshots. It's still all the same stuff, it's just yeah, a bit different. And I do also put a woodwork bench in there, and I bring the recycler outside because then I can fit the recycling machine outside, which is why I wanted it to be in the first place, because I feel like it's something that would be outside. But yeah, it's a bit like squished for space because of the garden shop. But yeah, so yeah, that changes a little bit. It was really frustrating, I'm not gonna lie, because I thought that was like really perfect for this lot, but what can you do? If anyone out there knows like how to make it work or why it doesn't work, let me know, because I'm really intrigued why it doesn't work. It might just be me, I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, like I say, this is a little cafe area, and it is just like a front, as in there's nowhere to sit inside. You sit outside on the like picnic benches, or you can just be like walking around. And there I am again, putting all my mugs as per usual. And using the shelves that I mentioned before from the greenhouse pack, which, like I say, I think is so cool. I know they're supposed to have flowers on them right now, or plants on them right now, but I enjoy them as shelves. I think they look really nice I think they'll fit in quite a lot of builds, to be honest. So yeah, I'm quite excited about using them. And then at the back of this like building, there is some toilets, and I also make like a baby changing area, and yeah, there's like a little potty as well. There is also I put a high chair out in the like where the picnic tables are as well, so that people can like if you bring a toddler with you, they can sit in the high chair and eat as well, just so that it's like nice and family friendly. Yeah, there I am doing it now. Always ahead of myself. This is also where I changed the boards, like the food boards on the like cafe area. So I think they look really nice with ones either side, and I imagine it says like all the like different things you can buy. That's a really nice idea. So yeah, I'm really glad I found them. Even though it's literally just like pictures of fish and vegetables, in my mind they say like all these different things that you can buy. So yeah, we're nearly finished now. Just gonna put a few more finishing touches, as I always do. A bit of fiddling, jumping around, and just making sure it's all like nice and sweet. Obviously I put those market tables down, and I imagine those were like little leaflets for like things to do in the community. But yeah, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed. I will leave you with some screenshots and see you in the next one. Bye.